My boyfriend sold my dog and replaced him with a lookalike. The beep of the microchip scanner was the loudest sound in the small examination room. It was a high-pitched, digital shriek that sliced through the heavy silence between me and the vet. I was holding the dog's head, my hands trembling so violently that his collar jingled like a set of nervous wind chimes. I was waiting for Dr. Evans to tell me I was paranoid. I was waiting for her to tell me that jet lag had scrambled my brain, that dogs sometimes act weird when their owners leave them for 3 days, and that the animal shivering on the metal table was, in fact, my soulmate. Instead, Dr. Evans looked up at the screen, then back at me. Her face wasn't reassuring. It was pale. She adjusted her glasses and tapped the scanner again, running it over the dog's shoulder blades one more time. Beep. Jessica, she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. This chip number, it doesn't match Barnaby's file. The room spun. I had to grip the edge of the table to keep my knees from buckling. What do you mean? I choked out. The chip moved? It migrated? No, she shook her head slowly. I mean, this chip belongs to a breeder in Ohio. The registration date is from 3 days ago. Jessica, this isn't Barnaby. I looked down at the French bulldog on the table. He had the same pied coloring, black patches on white. He had the same bad ears. But looking into his eyes, I saw nothing. No recognition. No spark. Just fear and confusion. I wasn't holding my dog. I was holding a stranger. And that meant my boyfriend, the man I shared a bed with, the man I trusted with the only living thing I loved more than life itself, had done something so twisted I couldn't even process the geometry of the betrayal. I felt the heat rising in my neck, a physical wave of nausea and rage that blurred my vision. I didn't scream. Not yet. I just picked up the imposter dog, walked out to my car, and drove home to burn my life to the ground. It started 48 hours ago. I'm a consultant, which means I live out of a suitcase half the month. Usually, I board Barnaby at a high-end pet hotel because he's a Frenchie, and they're high maintenance. They have allergies, they overheat, they need specific food. He cost me $4,000 as a puppy, but over the last 3 years, he's become priceless. He's my shadow. But this time, Ryan insisted on watching him. Babe, he had said, giving me that lopsided grin that used to make me melt. Save the money. We're saving for the wedding, right? I work from home. I can watch him. We need to bond anyway. Ryan and Barnaby had a tolerant relationship. Barnaby tolerated Ryan, Ryan tolerated the snoring. But I wanted to believe it. I wanted to believe Ryan was stepping up. So I agreed. I left a 3-page instruction manual on the fridge, kissed Barnaby on his flat little nose, and flew to Denver for the conference. I texted Ryan every few hours. How is he? Did he eat? Send pics. Ryan sent photos. They were a bit blurry, or just of the dog sleeping, but I didn't think much of it. I was busy. When I got home yesterday afternoon, the apartment smelled weird. Not bad, just different. Like cheap air freshener trying to cover up something muskier. Honey. You're home. Ryan met me at the door. He was sweating. It was 68 degrees in the apartment, but he had pit stains on his gray t-shirt. He hugged me too hard. Where's the potato? I asked, dropping my bags. Usually, Barnaby hears the door and comes drifting around the corner like a bowling ball on legs. He's in the bedroom, Ryan said, blocking my path slightly. He's been acting super weird, Jess. I think he's mad at you. Mad at me? I laughed, pushing past him. Dogs don't hold grudges for 3 days. I walked into the bedroom. The dog was on the bed. Barnaby. I cooed, dropping to my knees. Mama's home. The dog looked up. He didn't wag his nub. He didn't make his signature gremlin noises. He just stared at me, then backed up against the headboard, trembling. See? Ryan said from the doorway, his voice tight. He's pissed. He's been like that since yesterday. Barely eating. Ignoring me. I reached out to pet him. The dog flinched. Hey, buddy, I whispered. It's okay. I touched his ear. It felt thinner. Barnaby had thick, leathery ears. These felt velvety, like a puppy's. And he looked smaller. Not by much, maybe a pound or two, but he looked deflated. He looked skinny, I said, accusingly. Did you feed him the raw mix? Yeah, of course, Ryan said quickly. He missed you. He's stressed. Give him time. I spent the rest of the evening trying to win him over. I offered him his favorite treats, dried liver. Barnaby usually does a backflip for liver. This dog sniffed it and turned his head away. He's really holding out, Ryan laughed nervously. He was pacing around the living room, checking his phone every 30 seconds. Stop pacing, I snapped. You're making him anxious. Sorry. Just work stuff. Big deadline. That night, the dog didn't sleep in his spot behind my knees. He curled up on the floor in the corner of the room. I laid awake, listening to his breathing. It sounded different. Barnaby snored like a chainsaw. This dog huffed softly. I told myself I was crazy. I told myself Ryan was right, he was just stressed. But then came the morning. I woke up at 7 a.m. The sun was streaming in. The dog was still in the corner. I got up and walked over to him. He looked up at me with sad, brown eyes. I picked him up to take him outside. As I carried him through the living room, the sun hit his coat. I froze. Barnaby has a very specific marking on his left flank. It looks like a jagged lightning bolt of black fur against the white. It's his birthmark. I turned the dog in my arms. There was a black patch. But it wasn't a lightning bolt. It was a blob. A round, amorphous blob. My stomach dropped so hard I felt like I was in freefall. I looked closer. The white fur on his chest was cleaner, brighter. Barnaby had a slight staining from his tear ducts that never fully went away. This dog was pristine. Ryan, I said. My voice was calm. Too calm. He groaned from the bedroom. Come here. What? He shuffled out, rubbing his eyes. Look at this dog. Jess, it's early. What? Look at his spot. Ryan squinted. Yeah. It's his spot. What about it? It's the wrong shape, I whispered. And he doesn't have the tear stains. And he doesn't know his name. I called him Barnaby 5 times and he didn't even twitch an ear. Ryan's face changed. For a split second, I saw panic. Pure, unadulterated terror. Then he masked it with aggression. Oh my God, Jessica, he groaned, throwing his hands up. Are we doing this? You're saying I swapped your dog? That's insane. That is literal psychosis. You need to go back to sleep. I'm taking him to the vet, I said. I'm checking his chip. No. Ryan shouted. He actually stepped between me and the door. Don't traumatize him more. He's already scared. Just let him settle in. Get out of my way, Ryan. Jess, stop being crazy. If he's Barnaby, I hissed, stepping into his personal space, then scanning his chip won't hurt anything. Why are you sweating? I'm not sweating. He wiped his forehead. I'm offended. You don't trust me with your dog? Right now? I don't think I trust you with a houseplant. I pushed past him. He grabbed my arm. Jess, don't. I ripped my arm away. If you touch me again, I'm calling the cops right now. He let go. He stood there, looking defeated, as I walked out the door with the imposter tucked under my arm. That brings us back to the vet clinic. To the words, "This isn't Barnaby." I drove home in a silence that felt heavy enough to crush the car. I didn't cry. I was in tactical mode. I needed my dog back. When I walked into the apartment, Ryan was sitting on the couch. He had a suitcase open. He was packing. He saw me. He saw the fake dog still in my arms. He saw the look on my face. He stopped packing. "Where is he?" I asked. I put the imposter down gently on the floor. The poor puppy skittered away to hide under the table. "Jess, look." Ryan started, holding his hands up. "Where is he?" I screamed. The sound tore through my throat. I grabbed the nearest thing, a decorative bowl on the entry table, and hurled it at the wall next to his head. It shattered. Ryan flinched. "I had to," he yelled. "Okay." I had no choice. "You had to what?" "Sell my dog." I owed money. He was crying now, ugly, snotty tears. I got in deep, Jess. Online poker. Then I tried to win it back at the underground game in the city, and I lost. They were going to hurt me. They said they'd come here. They said they'd break my legs. "So you sold Barnaby?" I walked toward him. "You sold my dog to save your legs?" "He's worth $4,000. Ryan blubbered. "I got 3 for him. It covered the vigorish. I found a guy on Craigslist within an hour. He paid cash. I used $200 to buy that puppy from a backyard breeder in Jersey. I thought since they were both pied Frenchies, you wouldn't notice until I could figure something out. I was going to buy him back. I swear." "You thought I wouldn't notice?" I slapped him. I didn't plan to. My hand just moved. It connected with his cheek with a crack that echoed. "He's not a purse, Ryan. He's a living being." "I'm sorry," he sobbed. I was desperate. "Who did you sell him to?" I demanded. "Give me the name." "I don't have it." "Don't lie to me." "I deleted the account," he shrieked. "I used a burner email because I didn't want you to find it. I met the guy in a Walmart parking lot in Secaucus. I deleted the post, I wiped the phone. It's gone." I looked at him. A grown man, sobbing on my rug, who had traded my best friend for $3,000 of gambling debt relief. "Get out," I said. "Jess, please." "Get out." I pulled my phone out. "I am calling the police. You have 5 minutes to leave before I report a grand larceny." "You wouldn't." "Try me." I dialed 911. "Dispatch, emergency." "I'd like to report a theft," I said, staring Ryan in the eye. "My live-in boyfriend stole property worth $4,000 and sold it. He is currently in the apartment." Ryan grabbed his suitcase and ran. He didn't even grab his toothbrush. He just fled. When the officers arrived, the apartment was quiet. The fake dog was asleep under the table. I explained everything. I showed them Barnaby's registration papers. I showed them the vet report proving the dog in my house wasn't mine. Officer Miller, a heavy-set guy who clearly loved dogs, looked furious. "Grand larceny," Miller muttered, writing in his notebook. "In this state, theft over $1,000 is a felony. Plus, we can tack on fraud for the swap." "I just want my dog back," I said, my voice finally breaking. "He doesn't have the buyer's info." "We'll find it," Miller said. "He might have deleted the app, but the digital footprint is forever." "Do you have his laptop?" I pointed to the desk. Ryan had left his MacBook. "Good," Miller said. "We'll need a warrant, or..." He looked at me. "Do you know the password?" "It's his birthday," I said deadpan. 0412. Miller smiled. "Well, if you consent to us searching the device to recover your stolen property." I consent. They took the laptop. They took a statement. They put out a bolo for Ryan. But I couldn't wait for the police. I sat down at my own computer. I logged into our shared phone bill. I looked at the call logs from 3 days ago. There were dozens of texts to unknown numbers. I started Googling them. Most were spam. But one number had a text exchange that lasted an hour. I plugged it into a reverse lookup tool. It cost me $5. Best money I ever spent. Name, Marcus Henderson. Location, Secaucus, New Jersey. I didn't call. I didn't text. I found Marcus on Facebook. There it was. A post from 2 days ago. Photo of Marcus holding Barnaby. Caption, finally got the dream dog for the kids. Meet Rocky. Got a great deal on him. Cash is king. Barnaby looked miserable in the photo. I took a screenshot. I called Officer Miller's card number. I found him, I said. I found the buyer. 2 hours later, I was sitting in the back of a police cruiser, following Miller to a suburban house in New Jersey. We pulled up. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd pass out. Miller went to the door first. I waited by the car. I saw a man answer the door. He looked confused. Miller spoke to him. The man gestured inside. A woman came to the door. There was arguing. Then, the man pointed to the backyard. Miller waved me over. I ran. I didn't walk. I ran up that driveway. Ma'am, Miller said to the couple. This is the legal owner. We paid $3,000 for that dog, the man shouted. Fair and square. You bought stolen property, Miller said firmly. Which means the transaction is void. You'll have to take it up with the seller in small claims court. Hand over the dog. This is ridiculous, the woman yelled. The kids love him. Then, I heard it. A bark. A short, sharp, demanding bark. Barnaby. I screamed. I heard scrabbling claws on the deck. A black and white cannonball shot around the corner of the house. He saw me. He didn't hesitate. He launched himself off the porch stairs. He hit me in the chest so hard he knocked the wind out of me. I fell to my knees in the driveway. He was licking my face, crying, making those weird alien noises he makes when he's happy. He was shaking his entire body. I'm sorry, I sobbed into his neck. I'm so sorry I left you. The couple watched, silent. The man looked at his wife. He sighed. All right, the man said. Seeing that, yeah. That's her dog. I took Barnaby home. I scrubbed him in the bath to get the smell of the other house off him. He ate 2 bowls of food and passed out on my chest. The aftermath was swift. Ryan was picked up 2 days later at a motel. He's currently out on bail, facing charges for grand larceny and animal cruelty. His parents called me, begging me to drop the charges because it will ruin his career. I told them his career wasn't worth the terror in my dog's eyes. As for the fake puppy, I couldn't keep him. It hurt too much to look at him. But I didn't dump him. I found a rescue organization that specializes in Frenchies. I paid for his vet checkup and donated $500 to help find him a foster home. He was adopted 3 days later by a nice retired couple who named him Lucky. I'm sitting here now, writing this. Barnaby is snoring on my lap. The door is double locked. I have a security camera pointed at the crate. I lost a boyfriend of 3 years. I lost my sense of security. I lost the illusion that I know the people I love. But I have my dog. So, tell me. Am I the monster for pressing felony charges against a man with a gambling addiction, or did he bet on the wrong woman?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.